Well, this is going to be a short video here on the Catalina. As you can see, I've put over 2,000 miles on the car now. The car had, let me put my finger over that blinking red light. The car had 25,336 miles and 5/10. It's got 37,360 on the odometer now. So I'm going to change the engine oil. I checked the transmission fluid while the engine was warmed up from going and getting the oil and filter, and I checked the power steering. We'll pull a dipstick and have a look at the oil. That was still on full, and I pulled that out the other day. So let's get started and we'll do an oil change on the Catalina. That's the oil and the filter. This car takes 6 quarts of oil, so that's what I got. That's a 5-quart jug, so with the filter it takes 6 quarts. And I did get the 1030 for it. This will be the 3rd oil change. I think it's a pretty important thing to keep your oil changed in your engines. The first oil change was before I started the engine. I drained the oil out that was in it when I bought the car, and I put new oil and filter and ran the oil pump with a drill and a special tool I have while the distributor was out, and got oil pressure up before I started cranking it. And then I left that oil in the car until I started driving it regularly on the road, and I changed the oil, and then I ran that oil 500 miles and changed it. This oil's got 1,500 miles on it, and I'm going to give it a change and it'll be fine until the end of the cruising season. I don't think I'll put another 2,000 miles, and if I do, it'll go the full 2,000 miles. I like to change oil, and these old cars have open crankcase ventilators, so it's kind of, with carburetors and chokes, it's kind of important to keep the oil changed. It's not like the modern car engines that are fuel injected and run super lean and have positive crankcase ventilation. These just have these oil vent things and a road draft tube. And so you got to kind of keep after them. So I change oil in my old cars usually every 2,000 miles or annually, whichever comes first. Usually I always change oil in the fall when I stop driving them, so they have clean oil in them when they sit over the winter. So anyway, that's just a little rambling on what I'm doing. Let's get the dipstick out and take a look at the oil. Okay, I set the camera up on a tripod, so hopefully this turns out. I did drive the car to the auto parts, so the engine is warm, but you can see the oil isn't too nasty yet. Let's check the level. I haven't added any oil to this engine since I started driving the car. It's never gone down. Right on the full mark. Seems to stay there all the time. I've never had to, it's never gone down off the full mark. So the engine uses no oil. So anyway, I'll get the oil draining out and get the filter off, and then do a little more video. Another thing I like to do is fill the oil filter up when they're mounted upright like this, which this one is. I just fill the oil filter before I put it on the engine, and that saves having to wait for the oil pressure to come up to fill the filter. I think it's just easier on the engine. Well, I'm going to dump the oil back into the jug that I put the clean oil in the engine out of, so you can see what the oil looks like. That's got about 1,500 miles on it. There you can kind of get a look at it. I don't know if I ever showed this in any of my past videos. I just took a gallon jug, cut the top off, put some chicken wire about an inch or two from the bottom, then I can just set my dirty oil filters in there until they drain out. Saves throwing oil out in the garbage. Well, I've already started the engine and got the oil pressure up. And we'll give the oil a quick check, wipe up any drips. Right up on full, nice clean fresh oil. I think that'll make for a happy engine. Another thing I do is I write dirty oil on the jug that I put the dirty oil in, and I'll take that to, I have a local muffler shop where I know the guys, they have a furnace to heat their building that burns dirty motor oil. So I take all my dirty motor oil to them, and they burn it in their furnace in the wintertime, so it's not dumped in a landfill. But I do write dirty oil on it because at one point I almost put some dirty oil in an engine that I didn't write it on, so I always just write it on the jug, set it by the door, so the next time I go to the muffler shop I can take it. So we'll take the car out for a short little run on the road and call it oil changed. 2,000 miles on the car now. It's been a lot of fun 2,000 miles. I keep this car here where I live, you know, and do a lot of cruising in it on Woodward. The Chevy, I take that for rides out in the country quite often. It's up in my dad's garage in Romeo. Sometimes I'll take a 100-mile or more ride out in the country. It's just so relaxing to get in the old car just after a stressful day or something, and just get in the old car, go for a ride, takes your mind off of all your problems and stuff. You just go out and I just unwind and relax, and I take the car out for a ride to the middle of nowhere in the country. Like I say, I'll go up in the stay on paved secondary roads, and sometimes go 100 or 150 miles. A lot of fun. Anyway, we'll take this for a little run and run some of that new oil through the motor after a couple thousand miles, and everything's been going good on the car. I haven't had any lick of trouble with it so far, and hopefully it stays that way. Okay, we'll do a warm start here. I always do cold start, so this will be a warm engine. Starts nice. We'll go for a little ride and then call it done. Okay, we're out for a little ride. There's a 60% chance of thunderstorms, so I don't know. Hopefully we won't get wet, but just go out for a nice ride. Alright, we'll get going the other way here. Boy, they're in a big hurry in that Mercedes. They had it right to the floor, I think. Okay, we're back. Did the maintenance on the car and took it for a little ride, and thank you for watching my videos. I hope you enjoy them.